fish friends, Zenzo with Tazawa Tanks, back with another video. So today I'm just down here in the fish room and thought I'd give a quick little update. This past weekend was the Petco $1 per gallon sale. So Sunday morning, which was the 1st of October, I ran down to the store. I had called ahead of time the day before and made sure it was on. The employees said yes. So I was down there like right on the dot, like 2 minutes before the doors open, standing there patiently waiting. Ran in and bought 12 tanks. So the employees there, they kind of knew what was up. They've seen me before. They know I suffer from multiple tank syndrome. So they weren't really tripping, but some of the customers that were there buying stuff for their dogs and doing the obedience school and things like that, I got a lot of strange looks because I kept like walking back and forth, just taking tanks out from the shelf directly out to the sidewalk, because I had already made arrangements with the cashier that I was just gonna, they knew what I was buying, so they rang me up and then I just staged them outside. So I did take a picture of me staging the tanks and of them all fitting in the car. So I'll put that right here. So as you can see, I bought a lot of tanks. I bought 12 tanks. I bought 8 10-gallon tanks. I bought 3 20-gallon highs, and I bought 1 29-gallon tank. The sale, I think, is for 10s, 15s, 20s, 20 high, 20 long, 29s, and I think that was it for the sale. I'm not sure if it covered like 40 breeders. I know it doesn't cover 55s and up. So anyway, if you happen to watch this in time and the sale is still going on, I highly suggest that you go out and get some tanks. So anyway, I got the tanks. I brought them home. I have a bunch of tanks kind of staged and set up where they're going to be. If you recall from some of the previous videos, I've expanded the fish room out. So previously the tanks kind of stopped right here, and that rack was over here, and the tanks just went out there. So all that section back there is new. That rack right there is new. So I did add 12 more tanks. Primarily they're going to be used for holding, breeding, fry, things like that. I've got some females holding in my African cichlid kind of breeding group, so I've got to pull those females out so they can spit naturally. I've got a bunch of fry. I think I have like 45 or 50 fry in 2 tanks down here, so as they grow out I'll have to split them up. I have another batch of kind of juvenile Mbuna that are no longer fry. They're kind of like juveniles now. They're probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches long, and I've got to split those up. I got guppies that are spawning. I have white clouds that are spawning. I have some albino ancestris that I plan on breeding when I get a good male. So anyway, a lot of that stuff going on. Oscar's over here in this tank. He's hiding out in the back corner, so you can't really see him right now, but I'll show you him in a minute. So anyway, I decided I'd kind of give you a brief update. So more tanks, which is fun. I'm not going to show you a video of tank by tank because most of them are the same as they've been, and the rest of them are just empty, or there's not a whole lot going on, so that's kind of boring. What isn't boring though is the filtration system. So if you look up above, and I know you're in wide angle, so you should be able to see this, but all along the ceiling you can see that I plumbed in PVC pipe. And I have ordered a central air pump from Gemco. So Gemco is spelled Jehmco, Gemco. Sorry, I had to spell it out in my brain. But anyway, Gemco is you can look them up, but they are a supplier that provides products and equipment and stuff for people that have like fish rooms and stores and stuff like that. So anyway, very helpful folks. If you call them up, you can't order online, you have to call them. So I ordered a pump from them, and that is going to be plumbed through the PVC. So the pump will go down in the back corner over here. It'll come up this up pipe, and then this is a closed loop. So it comes up, and then it goes on a complete, not a circle, but it completely goes around a circuit. So it's a closed loop. And what I will do is I will drill holes into the PVC. I'll put in the self-tapping valves, and then I'll drop airline down to each tank and run sponge filters. Because right now I'm running multiple pumps, and it's just not ideal. It's kind of messy, and I've got all kinds of splitters and things like that. So anyway, so that's new down here. Nothing else really. I got a dehumidifier, but I talked about that before. It does kind of help heat the room up. Some of these tanks will be heated. some of the tanks are not heated. The room itself is about 74 or so degrees, right around there. Sometimes it goes down to about 72, sometimes it goes up to about 75, but 74, 73, right around there is about the average range. The tanks that are not heated, I've noticed, because I run thermometers, they all seem to be hovering right around 72 to 73 degrees. So that's good for those tanks that I want to have a little bit cooler, like my albino paradise gouramis, like my white cloud minnows, my guppies I'm not heating. I want to get those kind of cooler. And as I breed more and more guppies, I'm going to try to get those cooler and cooler and cooler. Eventually, I might try to keep them outside year-long on my aquaponics pond setup that I have outside. But anyway, that's down the road. So that's about it for down here. I did get a new toy recently in the last few weeks. You can't see it right now because the camera is mounted to it, but I didn't buy it because my wife bought it for me for my birthday. My birthday present was this device plus her cleaning out all the junk out of the basement here so I can expand the fish room. So anyway, I got a gimbal, and if you're not familiar with a gimbal, it's basically it's like a motorized, battery-operated motorized stability device that you can use for cameras and phones and things like that. This one happens to be for mobile devices, and it's really cool. It has like a gyroscopic, a gyro in it, a gyro motor. So I will take a picture of it later, and I'll embed it in here right now just so you can see. It's really kind of a neat device. I'll put that right here. But anyway, I got this for my birthday. I've been playing around with it, doing some different shots. Part of this little photo club that Sashimi Whiskey put together. So that's been kind of fun for me, just learning. And anyway, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a little bit of footage of some of my tanks, not all my tanks, but just some of them, maybe some of the ones that I think are kind of cool. I'm going to try to do it in slow motion using the gimbal, and I'll put a little music to it just to kind of make it, snazzy. And let me know what you think. Tell me if you think that it was, kind of a, how is my filming coming along, my camera work. So I'd be interested in hearing what you think about that. So I'll put a little clip of that right here. So anyway, that's all I had for today. I just wanted to give you guys an update on the fish room and what's going on. There's not a whole lot to really report other than I've just been working down here, moving tanks around. I've got a bunch of sponge filters cycling up in my sumps, not cycling, but getting seated in my sumps. So what I do is when I get a brand new sponge filter, so here's an example. So here's the sponge filter, not seated. And then here is the the insides of the sponge filter. If you take it apart, you can pop the sponge off. So what I do is I take the sponges off as I drop everything. I'm not going to edit that part. Anyway, I take the sponges and I stick them in my sumps in some of my larger tanks upstairs. That way the beneficial bacteria starts to get seated in those sponge filters. So when I am ready to get a new tank running, all I have to do is take it out of that sump and put it in the tank, and it's basically instantly cycled, kind of. I mean, it's not like instantly cycled because the surfaces of the tank still need to get bacteria. If I do any substrate, which some of them I will, some of them I won't, that obviously needs to get some bacteria going. But basically, you can start putting fish in right away if you do that system. So anyway, that's kind of a cool thing that I do. I don't worry about diseases and things like that because I've quarantined all of my fish and I've medicated all of my fish. So every single fish that I have in this fish room and upstairs has gone through a quarantine and a medication process. So I'm not worried about cross-contaminating anything like that. So anyway, that's all I had for now. As always, I appreciate your viewership. I really, really love all of you. Thank you for helping me get to over 1,000 subscribers really quickly. I've really only been doing this since April, although the channel's been up for like a year and a half, but I didn't do anything with the channel. So it's only been a few months that I've really been trying to make videos on a regular basis. And so anyway, thank you very much. If you are watching and you're not a subscriber, I don't know what to tell you. You should be subscribed because I've got so many people that watch the videos that aren't subscribed. So please subscribe if you're watching. If you are a subscriber, hit that little notification bell. That'll just tell you when I upload new videos. I try to upload new videos twice per week, and that is the schedule that I've been sticking with so far. So as always, thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next one.